Erin, first off, let's before we get into like the game conversation, how are you feeling? Congratulations, you have made it to the merge. What are your thoughts and feelings?
I hit my goal. That was my goal. Yay! I can go home now. Just kidding. I obviously am not gonna throw away my game. But yeah, I hit my goal. I'm super excited. How are you, Sean?
I'm doing well. Okay, so before we talk about the extra stuff, let's talk about last tribal, or sorry, the pit. You didn't make it. You overslept, which is understandable. We all go through those little we need sleep stages. Um, you had mentioned in your production chat, um, if you are allowed to give away your immunity, could you go in depth? Why did you want to, like, why did you ask that in the first place? What were you going to do if we said, well, we did say yes. What were you going to do if you were awake and everything? What was your plan in your head?
I was gonna give it up to anyone who had promised to vote for me, and I would have told everyone to vote for me so they can keep playing. Yeah.
So, living up to your interview for this game, you did say like you don't have anything to live up. Well, I mean, in a game standpoint, you don't have anything to live up to. You've won a game before. Um, Now that you made it to the merge, what is your goal?
Um, just to literally push my friends forward. So like Josh, basically. Like again, I don't care about winning. I really don't. I really honestly do not care about winning. In fact, I'm actually a little upset that people want to keep me long term because I'm like, I don't want to go long term. Like I want to just I like this whole time I'm just like I just want to have fun. I just want to have fun. And every time we do a competition, like everyone will talk about it and they'll be like, "Oh, like are you nervous?" Like no, I'm just going to play it and have fun and like I don't care about managing my threat level or like losing. I'm just gonna like try my hardest and make jokes out of it and have fun. And now it's even more so. And I don't like voting people out because I want to be voted.
Speaking of challenge, you held on with a spoon and an egg in your, well, not a spoon in your mouth with an egg on top for 3 hours and 12 seconds. So close to winning by 19 seconds. How did you feel in that moment when we sent those results in the chat saying Carval Tribe lost by 19 seconds, you're going to the pit?
It killed me because the reason I stayed on so long because I was like, there's no way someone went 3 hours. I was even like 2.5 hours. There's still no way, but I'll just keep in an extra half hour just to be safe because that's how badly I didn't want to go to tribal and I didn't want to vote someone off and I wanted everyone to keep playing. And god damn it, those 19 fucking seconds. Like, imagine staying on for 3 hours and you still lose. Like, I literally woke my boyfriend up and I was like, Elliot, like, I just did the endurance for 3 hours. And he was like, you're so safe. Like, you did not need to do that. And I was like, I just really want to keep playing with these people. Like, even just dropped at what, an hour 48? Like, it just showed that I really didn't care. I didn't care about the immunity. I just wanted us to be safe. So it was a bummer for sure. But yeah.
Okay. Um, so there are people in this merge phase that you have yet to speak to or have met because you haven't swapped with them or they've been on the other tribe. How are you feeling about those people? How are you dealing with the interactions? And how are they on a game level with you?
So the only person that I really stuck out to me that I haven't even spoken to is Lucy, because when we played the Google competition, she was very intense, and like is like an intense game player, you know, like kind of like a threat, I guess, a threat to my bestie Josh, and um but that was like really it. and Josh had confided in me that him and Brian are actually friends. I was gonna say Brian was also a threat because he was the one that beat me by 19 seconds. So I was like, oh, okay, Brian's a threat too. But then Josh told me he was friends with him, so now I like him. And because obviously, like, I'm playing for my friends, so if it helps Josh out, I love Brian now. Not that I don't love everyone else, but anyways, so yeah, and at this point too, I'm gonna communicate and be friendly with the people that from the other tribe who haven't talked to me yet, who reach out to me. But I'm not gonna reach out to anyone else because um, that's just gonna make it harder for me to vote against people. Because honestly, this is like a really good cast. Like I was talking to Josh about it and I was like, why is everyone so friendly and normal and nice? And Josh was like, that's usually how these orgs go. They're not all like, I love money where people aren't safe. But yeah, so it's been such a joy. I don't want to get attached to people again, and then I get so sad when like Matt left. I felt so sad about that.
I do agree with Josh. Not all not all orgs are like I love money. Um, like I've shared with you before, like in different calls. Excuse me. Oh my God, smoker's cough. Um, you know, we've your first game was Out of Money. My first game was Out of Money. It was hella intense. So
Yeah,
like, not all orgs are like that. Not like that.
yeah.
Who thank God. Um, I did have a. Speaking of Josh, you had mentioned in your production chat about connections, finding out. What were your thoughts when you found out about the whole Jess and Jen, Corey, Matt, and like what was going through your head in that moment?
I I don't think it changes the game that much, but things started clicking because I thought Corey. It makes sense now that he was playful because they already have a connection, but he would kind of like poke her and like tease her and stuff. Which if you're just meeting someone would be like, why are you calling me an airhead, but now that I know that they like know each other, or yeah, like know each other outside the game, it makes so much sense. But then I'm also like, ooh, because once I well, I didn't blindside, I kind of just we tried hinting to Jess with the Corey vote that Corey was still going home, but Jess was like, I really like Corey, and now that makes more sense too. But I I lied so that way I wouldn't lose that connection with her. And I was like, Corey threw your name out there, which I think he didn't throw just his name out there, but I think in a call between Corey and Chantel, Corey did put Jess like lower. And I didn't personally hear that. That's according to Chantel. But so it's kind of not a full lie. So um but I was like, oh shit, like that was caught in the act entirely. Like I hope Jess like doesn't see me as like this big bullshitter, but I just don't want to get mad at me for voting out someone that I said I was considering not voting for when in reality I was like, okay, I'm gonna vote for Corey. And then now I'm like curious of like who else is in this wedding party alliance. That they're all in this wedding party. So they all have this other connection. So it makes me think about like Joe, and he's like, oh, but Joe also like Joe said he found out about the game through Jen and Topher, so like maybe he's also like friends of them. So that's a connection that could have been with Jess and Matt. And if Jess has a connection with Joe, I have no idea. And she was ready to vote out Matt, and Joe voted out Matt. I mean, Jess also voted out Matt, and he's obviously in the wedding party too. So I guess it's not that serious. So overall, it really didn't do anything. Like long story short, it really had no effect on anything. I thought it was just a cool fun fact, I guess, but it was tea at first.
So, another thing that we haven't really touched upon was the extra person in your swap tribe. Go like give us your process and how you went with about it, because at the end of the day, you did receive a advantage um, from the extra Skype account. So like, what was going through your head when you were like, why is there 6 people on my tribe? Why, like, who is this? Like, and then yeah, go from there.
Well, yeah. Once I saw that, I just thought it was at first a live viewer, and then I asked in my prod chat, I was like, is this like a VL? Like, I'm just learning about VLs, just learning about Lindens. And then I just messaged that person just to see, like, oh, are you a live viewer, basically? And then, like, they messaged back and they were like, this isn't how we do chats, is it? So I was like, oh, this is a part of the game. So then that's when I messaged them, like, with all production and everything. And I mean, that was basically like the whole thought process. And then when I got an advantage, I was like, hey yo, let's go. So yeah, I still kind of, I don't know, maybe I should, no, I'm gonna keep it, but I don't think I need to use it anytime soon, or even at all, because Carval, OG Carval, has the numbers, and it's kind of Insignia left, and I don't really know what's gonna happen. I think we're gonna find out where lines are after the first tribal, like now the first tribal of merge, or the first pit of merge. So I, but I still don't think I'm getting voted out the first pit, so I don't think I need to use it. But I don't care if I get voted out either. But also, it's kind of like a good thing to have, because also, like, you're keeping someone safe, and you're also, like, it's an extra person on your side. Yeah.
Okay. So like, as of right now, in your eyes, the merge is looking like OG Corval versus OG Incendio. Do you think there's gonna be like a pagonging where each Incendio member will get targeted, or like you said, like the first pit will determine where lines are drawn? Like, is that what I'm getting at? Like, is that
When
what
I'm
the
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at, and I think it's like OG Corval, as far as I'm concerned, it just like makes sense. I feel like from what I've heard from Joe, is that what he's getting at from talking to OG and Cineo is that they're within each of the tribes. From what he's gathered, it was pretty much Corval versus Insignia, like within the tribes, and that now that Insignia, or yeah, Insignia's down like a lot of numbers. So if I were on Insignio, I would be trying to get in the numbers. I'd be trying to find someone on Carval that I will pledge loyalty to, and hopefully they'll keep me safe over any of the Insignio people. But like, that's such a boring game to play. Like, no one wants to see a big alliance just pick off the underdogs one by one. So I'm actually kind of glad that there's Joe and that there's Brian, because I don't really want to play a game where we're just picking off the underdogs, even if I'm winning from that. That's just not a fun game to watch. It's not a fun game to see. It's not strategical in any way. It's just you're in a big alliance and you're picking people off. I think it's inevitably going to happen. I mean, it just makes the most sense for everyone's game to stick with those numbers. But I don't know if it goes another way, which I kind of hope someone shakes the game up and kind of goes against someone else. I think people are too scared to. I don't know if Joe's maybe not a little scared. Maybe it's me or whatever, but no name for a Carval person has been thrown out. So I'm interested to see how the first pit goes now. Now that merge is hit, but I would be a little surprised if it didn't just, the line wasn't just OG Carval versus OG Insignio, even how boring that is.
Okay. So I don't have any more questions for you, but we are going to go into the VL questions. First question is coming from most recent eliminate for the last person who got eliminated. Um, Matt. Matt had asked a question. Why do you hate it? Yeah. Why do you hate him?
it's because pickles is just no, I'm kidding. I was trying to think of something funny and I couldn't think of anything. It was stupid. But I don't hate him. It makes me honestly rub salt into the wound because I really wanted him to stay. And yeah. All right, that's I mean, if I hadn't gone to sleep, he would still be here. But I guess I don't know God's plan.
Okay, next question is coming from First Boot himself, Mac. How are you enjoying the merge?
Oh, cool, Mac. I wish I got to talk to you. I enjoy the merge a lot. I mean, every except for Zach, everyone from Carval is still here, so that's great. If he is able to watch this, and I hope he also knows that I don't care about winning. So it's like a bittersweet in a way, because I have to kind of gameplay for my friends now. So there's a merge, and I wish I got to talk to you and meet you. A merge that I didn't intended on making, but now I have to navigate to not get to the end, if that makes sense. Also, side note, Sean, this is not an answer to the question, but I feel like going in here and being like, I don't want to win, like I'm here to push my friends forward. I obviously don't say Josh, but I'm also not lying when I say that. So I'm just like being like my friends, like a general loose term. Also, like if I get close with you, I'll probably want to push you too. But I feel like that's making me go further in this game because everyone wants to take me now because or take me further because they know like I'm willing to give up my game for someone I like, and it's counterintuitive. So I just find that like funny in a like completely roundabout way that my strategy was to not get further, and I feel like people are wanting to take me further because I don't want to go further, which I find hilarious. But anyways.
All right, that is it for the VL questions. Before we end the recording, do you have any last minute things you would like to say?
Nope, that's it. Oh, yeah, no.
Okay, I'm gonna stop